Password Cracker Online. Well, this activity actually does several things. In order to crack passwords, the most common way to crack them is to do a dictionary match on a hash. So let's just go through that whole process again. What is password hashing? Password hashing is taking a mathematical algorithm, calculating a sum from it, and coming up with a sequence of letters and numbers that can't be reversed. So hello, this is this one. If we have longer words, it doesn't matter. It still comes out to the same length. So hash algorithms are one-way functions, and they're used everywhere in our authentication systems. They cannot be reversed. We want to store passwords in a form that we can determine is the password correct, yet not be able to reverse it. So most of the time what happens whenever you create an account or when you log in, you create an account, the password is hashed, stored in a database. At no point is the plain text password ever written to the hard drive. It's never stored anywhere. In fact, it's not even passed unencrypted. When a user logs in, the hash of the password they entered is checked against the hash of their password retrieved from the database. If the hashes match, you are granted access. If it's not, sorry, you entered invalid credentials. So why do they say invalid login credentials instead of saying your username is wrong, your password is wrong? Well, that's giving away which of the parts is wrong. That allows someone to guess more accurately, oh, well, this is a good user account. Now I just have to get the passwords. So that's why you get a generic return from any time you type in the wrong stuff. Now, a cryptographic hash, how do we reverse, and you can't reverse it, but how do we find the password from a hash? Well, one way is what's called a dictionary attack. We try Apple, we hash it, we compare it to the hash we're trying to find the password for, it fails, we try it again. Brute force would mean that we go through every possible combination of letters from 1 to like 16, including numbers and special characters. Well, you can see this one's going to take a really long time. So we typically are going to try to guess the password, hash each guess, and then check if it equals the hash being cracked. Dictionary attack is more efficient than this. So brute force works, but it can take a long time. Dictionary can work, but it may not have the password in the dictionary file. One way to speed up the dictionary attack, because you have to compare one at a time through a dictionary, is to pre-calculate those hashes. And then you look through the table, find that hash, and find the matching password. So it's kind of like a pre-generated database of all those hashes. So we're going to take a look at crackstation.net because that's what they do. They use lookup tables. So I'm going to scooch this over to the side. And I'm not necessarily going to use the examples that are in there, but I'm going to put in our terrible password, password01, hash it. Now notice that there's all kinds of different hashes. We are going to use the SHA 256 because that's the current standard for hashing passwords. You notice that there's some that are a lot longer. Well, the longer the password, the more time and processing power and resources it takes to calculate it on each end. So security always looks for a compromise between speed and security. So we're using this one because this is very common right now. If you find someplace that's using any of these other ones, you're in big trouble. So we go here. We have to say, I'm not a robot. Oh, yeah, I didn't run into this one before. Motorcycle, 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 motorcycle. I don't see any motorcycles there. Bridge, 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 bridge. That looks like a bridge. Bridge. No bridge, no bridge. Oh, brother. There are no bicycles. Bridge, bridge. Looks like a bridge. I don't know what that is. Bridge. 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 Good grief, it'd take me 4 more times to get that. Okay. So we paste in our hash and we crack it. Now, if that's in the CrackStations database, it'll come back very quickly. Well, so far so good. You could try some passwords. Let's try a password that's not likely to be in there. Let's do some like long password like I have shown you before, like with a random word generator. So let's try that. Random word generator. Let's see what it comes up with. All right. So if we put these all together in one word for a password, let's see if that's in there. So we put that in. And let's see, we'll put maybe a number in here. I don't think we need anything else. I think we're going to be good. Now, when you go down to the hash, doesn't matter how long the password is, doesn't matter what's in it, the hash length is exactly the same. We put it in here, and the odds are good this is not going to be in there because that's just a weird password I just generated. Oh, just look at how long it took to not find it. And notice it was exactly the same amount of time it took to find it. So this cracks things based on the CrackStations word list. And the word list is pre-computed. And so it says they have a 19 gigabyte, 1.5 billion entry lookup table. So what they do is they grab, in this case, they grab every word from Wikipedia databases. They added every password list they could find. They did all kinds of things to this. So password lists are very common on the internet. They're all over the place. So if you do a search for password lists, you can find them everywhere. Like this is one I get a lot of them from because he's got all kinds of stuff. These are passwords that have actually been hacked from systems. So these are known passwords that people have used, and they're all over the place. And here's another one. And you can see there's all kinds of passwords. Yep, the top 1 million passwords represent 30% of all passwords on the dark web. Yep, so you can see there's all kinds of, if you've been in a hack and the data's been dumped, which the odds are good, everybody, and I think in the entire world, has at least had some credentials hacked. Don't ever reuse passwords. That's the big one. The thinking right now is to use random words and make your password longer. Well, that is the gist of it. Well, see you later. Oh, and at the end, I do ask you to talk about this a little bit. Don't just type in 2 words. Let me know what you're thinking. I want to know if you understand what this is about. Thank you. This is it for good.